How's Rapunzel doing? Well, she's still battling cancer because cancer doesn't always go away for everybody right away, and so she's still battling it, and we're very hopeful that she'll start to feel better soon. Yes, she's very lucky because the other princesses over the years developed a very good relationship, and they've been there supporting her, so she's very lucky to have them. Well, it all started when my she was three, but my 3-year-old daughter would go visit her friends, and they were all dressed up in costumes and watch the movies, and they were really into the princess phase. For some reason, at that age, they really get into the princesses, and I had never really experienced them because I'm an immigrant to Canada. I grew up in Israel, and when I grew up, they weren't very prominent in society, in the consciousness of young girls. So I began to get very curious about the princesses, and then right in the middle, my mother was diagnosed with breast cancer, and I went into a little bit of a blue period in my life, and I started to think, oh, look at these princesses. Everything's so perfect for them. Or is it? Who knows? We never get to see, because we never see them past the happily ever after, past their youth and their glory. So I thought, I wonder if these princesses, ever have to deal with anything like cancer. And that's how the first one came about. It was Rapunzel. I don't think that Walt Disney lies to us. I think they have taken stories that were folk tales and classic kids stories, and maybe made it their own, which usually has a happily ever after attached to it, which is pretty much better suited for kids, but doesn't give them a realistic look into what life is really like. No. Should they have a realistic look at what life is really like at the age of 3? No. So I think Disney does their part, and as long as parents are come into the scene and provide some sort of guidance, I don't think Disney is a problem. I think that maybe becomes a problem for kids who don't have that guidance. But Disney just does their interpretation of these old tales, and I did mine. I don't know. I'm so different from them, because I'm definitely not a princess, because I nothing was ever given to me. I had to work for everything that I've ever had in my life, and I had to work really, really, really hard. And I think that the princess is not a modern woman, no matter what Disney has tried to portray her as, because at the end of the day, she'll just end up being swept away by the prince and living in a castle and being served upon, and that's just not my life. But doesn't mean that I couldn't. I know some princesses and who kind of live that way, and they're not bad people. They're just very different than I am. I don't know. It possibly could be Cinderella, because she was really duped. She ends up being chosen. The slipper fit her, and she was chosen to be the princess. And then she realizes that this prince wasn't such a great guy after all, that he has been gallivanting with other princesses, leaving her alone late at night. And so she turns to alcohol to make her feel better. So she's very depressed. I think she's lonely and she's just sad. There's a big hole inside of her that she's been filling with late nights to the bar. Ariel ends up in the aquarium because she's captured. You know, us humans, we just have this need to capture beauty and put it on display. And so Ariel is one of a kind. No one's ever seen a mermaid before. So she's, of course, captured, and she's there for display for all of us to be in awe of her. And I guess they do some studies on her to figure out her secrets. And the little boy with the back represents all the trips. You know, all the kids. They all go to the aquarium, and this one little boy, he sees her and he feels really sad for her. He actually feels for her. He connects with her. Well, for Jasmine, I traveled to Los Angeles because I live in British Columbia, where, I mean, we do kind of have a deserty area, and I wanted to shoot this in, I think I shot it in February. So I needed to travel to Los Angeles. I hired I booked the model there through Craigslist. So I had to do what I had to do to get what I needed, and it's of course with very little budget. So I would love to show in France, because the only show I've ever had in France was just one of the worst experiences for me. Yeah, I had a little show in Paris, and I was pregnant, 3 months pregnant, and I was really, really sick, and it was really cold. It was so cold. It was New Year's Eve, 2004, and I was so sick. I threw up everywhere. I threw up Arc de Triomphe. I threw up in the Eiffel Tower. I threw up at the museum, everywhere. I was so sick. And the show was at this little gallery that nobody knew about, and it was just a terrible experience. So I'd like to come back and do it right. I'd probably be a tulip. Rolling English countryside. Probably be a little pin with a little bit of sparkle. Dark chocolate. I'd probably be a sweater. It's boring, but it's warm and cozy. Maybe a violin. I think you can be any fallen princess at any time in your life. You know, and right now in my life, I happen to be Snow White because I have 2 kids and my husband's away, and I'm trying to balance my life, my home life, my work life, and it's very difficult right now. And my husband is the prince because he's in the doghouse right now because he's away for 6 weeks. As a woman, I think women just go through a lot of different things in their life. Maybe even men. Maybe men could be those characters as well, I would say. Au revoir, attardé.
Is going. I said, Master, better check which way to win.